Hi, my name is Will McNair, and I'm the Director of Oil and Human Utilization Programs at the U.S. Soybean Export Council. Today, I'm going to be providing an overview of the USSEC Worldwide Soy Food Market Update for the summer of 2020. This market overview will provide a high-level description of our top soy food markets, namely those in Japan, Korea, China, Southeast Asia, Taiwan, and the South Asian markets. The full report, with more than 100 slides brought to you by USSEC staff worldwide, is available at ussec.org. That's ussec.org. Kicking off the discussion is Japan Soy Foods. Japan is the most important market, is the largest market for U.S. IP soy food exporters. In total, they import approximately 800,000 metric tons of soy foods from around the world. The U.S. is the dominant supplier in this market, supplying more than 55% of the market share, or approximately a little over 400,000 metric tons. The second largest supplier to this market is Canada at 42%, and then the rest of the world led by China. Now, within Japan, the market segmentation is quite interesting. Tofu makes up the 52%, or the dominant use of soybeans within the market, followed by natto at 17% and miso at 13%. Now, natto is an incredibly interesting market because it's a market that the U.S. is the primary supplier, and critically, it's a really growing market and a really important market for U.S. soy suppliers. Since 2013, we've seen a 48% growth in overall consumption of natto within the market, as well as it's grown to a really big, important market, it valued at more than $2.5 billion. Korea, as well, is a very important market for U.S. soy food exporters. With the period between January to June of 2020, the Korean market has imported more than 188,000 metric tons of soy food from around the world, with the U.S. being the dominant supplier at 80% of that, followed by China, Canada, and Russia. Similar to Japan, tofu is the primary use of soy food beans within that market at 51%, followed by soy sauce and paste at 22%, soy milk at 15%, and bean sprouts at 11%. Taiwan is another critical market for U.S. soy food exporters. Taiwan, though, is interesting because they consume both non-GMO soy foods in IP exports, as well as GMO commodity-grade soy foods. The U.S. is the dominant supplier to this market, supplying more than 77% of the total market. Of this, 158,000 metric tons, or 66%, is in those commodity-grade soybeans, followed by 26,000 metric tons of soy foods, of IP soy foods, exported from the U.S., and then the rest is supplied primarily via Canada at 51,000 metric tons in total. Now, the primary uses for tofu with soy foods within that market are dried tofu at 40%, tofu, just traditional tofu at 30%, soy milk at 20%, and then a small amount of soy protein isolates. Now, China is an incredibly interesting market. It's an incredibly large market. Overall, China's non-GMO soy food consumption is 15 million metric tons, which dwarfs all other countries combined. However, the majority of the consumption within this market is made up from domestic production. The primary consumption within this market would be for 7 million metric tons is approximately, or 7 million metric tons would be for tofu and other whole bean products, soy milk at 2.58 million metric tons, other soy proteins at 2.35 million metric tons, crushed soybeans for non-GMO soy meal or other uses at 2.1 million metric tons, and approximately 1 million metric tons just for soy sauce. Now, Southeast Asia, similar to Taiwan, is an important market for both commodity-grade soy food exports as well as IP soy food exports. Overall, Southeast Asia imports 9.1 million metric tons of soybeans, of which 43% is utilized for soy food consumption, and that equates to approximately 4 million metric tons. Now, the top soy food markets within that region are Indonesia, Thailand, Vietnam, the Philippines, Malaysia, and Singapore. And here's just a quick graph that shows you some of the how it's consumed, whether it's through local or imported soybean usage. And critically, you can actually find more about all of these markets by downloading the full report at usec.org. Finally, I'll speak a little bit about the Indian soy food industry. Now, within India, soy foods are one of the most important and growing markets. Overall consumption has really grown within the past 20 years. Since 2000, the market has grown from approximately 100,000 metric tons to 1.5 million metric tons. So that's astronomical growth. Within the country, you've seen the consumption primarily be within soy milk, tofu, texturized soy protein. And a lot of this growth has come from health-conscious consumers, as well as conventional soy food users within primarily the northeast of the country. Now, India is an interesting market as well because it is really dominated by cottage-scale, small-scale producers of both soy milk and tofu. So that's it for today. Please visit usec.org, ussec.org, to be able to download this report, as well as to be able to find more information on soy food markets from around the world.